Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Yesterday we have discussed about the layer task, and when we are sending an email, the task involved in the sender, receiver and the carrier. So after this we are doing the OSI model. The OSI model. An ISO standard that covers all aspects of network communication is that Open System Interconnection Model. So the ISO standard covers the Open System Interconnection Model throughout all aspects of the network communication. It was first introduced at the late 1970s. An open system is a set of protocols that allows two different systems to communicate regardless of their underlying architecture. So this Open System Interconnection Model is a set of protocol that allows two different systems to communicate without regarding its architecture. So we can communicate between a computer and a mobile phone and a laptop, etc. So the purpose of the OSI model is to show how to facilitate communication between different systems without requiring change logic of the underlying hardware and software. So we don't need to change the hardware and software of the system. The OSI model facilitates the communication between different systems without regarding the hardware and software logic. So the OSI model is not a protocol. So very clear that the OSI model is not a protocol. It's a model for understanding and designing a network architecture that is flexible, robust and interoperable. So the main theme is interoperable. So it is not a protocol. OSI is not a protocol. It's a model for understanding and designing a network architecture that is flexible, robust and interoperable. ISO is the organization, OSI is the model. The OSI model is a layered framework for the design of network system that allows communication between all type of computer system. So OSI model allows the communication between all the type of computer system. The figure shows the layered architecture of OSI model. The first one is at the bottom side the physical layer, second one is data link layer, third one is network layer, fourth one is transport layer, fifth one is section layer, sixth one is presentation layer and seventh one is application layer. From this figure it is clear it's a 7-layered model, 7-layered architecture. OSI model have 7 layers: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. The figure shows the layers involved when a message is sent from device A to device B. As the message travels from A to B, it may pass through the intermediate nodes. So go to the figure. Just look at this figure. There is a device A and device B, intermediate nodes, and there are 7 layers: physical, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, interface layer and application presentation, application layer. So when device A need to send a message to device B, this message is traveled through these layers through physical communication, that's the carrier, and to the receiver. The sender is the device A and receiver is the device B. We have already discussed about layer task. From that there is a sender and there is a device, there is a receiver and there is a carrier, transport carrier. So from that day we are clear that there is a 3 type of activities in sender and 3 types of activity in the receiver, such like that. Like way, in here there are 7 layers. These messages are transferred through these layers to the receiver. So there is a peer-to-peer protocol is there. We are discussing that in after. So look at this figure clearly and go to this slide. Figure A shows the layer involved when a message is sent to device A to device B. As a message travels from A to B, it may pass through many intermediate nodes. These intermediate nodes usually involve only the first 3 layers of the OSI model. So there are intermediate nodes involved in the transfer of the message, that is involved in the first 3 layers of OSI model. That means application layer, that means physical layer and data link layer and network layer. So the intermediate nodes involved in first 3 layers of the OSI model. So each layer defines a family of function distinct from those of the other layer. So each layer defines a family of function that distinct from the other layers. The OSI model allows complete interoperability between otherwise compatible systems. The OSI model allows complete interoperability between and otherwise incompatible systems. So it provides a complete interoperability. This is one of the main function of OSI model, that is interoperability. Within a single machine, each layer calls upon the service of just layer below it. So when we are sending a message, each layer calls upon the service of the layers just below it. That means layer 3, for example, uses the service provided by layer 2 and provides services for layer 4. The layer 3 uses the services provided by layer 2 and provides services for layer 4. So this communication governs by an agreed upon series of rules and convention called protocols. So the all communication happening in OSI model is agreed upon and series rules and convention called protocols. The process on each machine that communicates at a given layer is called a peer-to-peer process. So process happening in this machine or this protocol, this OSI model is at a given layer is called a peer-to-peer process. So peer-to-peer process at the physical layer, communication is direct. In figure, device A sends a stream of bit to device B through intermediate nodes. So there is an intermediate nodes between the physical layer. At the higher level, however, communication must move down through a layer on device A over to device B and back then up through the layers. So when at the higher level, however, communication must move down through the layers on device A. Over B, it must be back up through the layers. So in device A, the message is coming from 7 to 1. In device B, the message is going upward direction, and here it is downward direction, here it is upward direction. As we are saying, at higher level, however, communication must be moved down through the layers on device A or the device B, then back up through the layers. Each layer in the sending device adds its own information to the message it receives from the layer just above it and passes the whole package to the layer just below it. So whenever sending data through that layers, each layer adds its own information to the message it receives from the layer just above it and passes the whole package to the layer just below it. At layer 1, the entire package is converted to a form that can be transmitted to the receiving device. At the receiving machine, the message is unwrapped layer by layer, with each process receiving and removing data meant for. And the next one is interfaces between layers. So the peer-to-peer process means whenever the data is sent, whenever a message is sent, each layer adds its own data to the message it received and just passes the message to the layer just below it. And that's all about the peer-to-peer process. And the interfaces between layers, the passing of the data and network information down through the layers of the sending device and back up through the layers of the receiving device is made possible by an interface between each pair of adjacent layers. So there is an interface between each layers. That interface made possible that the data is passed down through the network layers, down through the layers of sending device and back up through the layers of receiving device. It is made possible by an interface between each pair of adjacent layers. So each interface defines the information and services a layer must provide for the layer above it. So interface defines the information and services that a layer must be provided for a layer above it. So well-defined interfaces and layer function provides modularity to a network. So well-defined interfaces and layer functions provide modularity to a network. And the third one, that's all about the interfaces and the organization of layers. The third one is organization of layer. The 7 layers can be thought of as belonging to 3 groups. So the 7 layers are categorized into 3 groups. That's layer 1 and 2 and 3. Physical layer, data link layer and network layers are the network support layers. These layers, they deal with the physical aspect of moving data from one device to another, such as electrical specification, physical connections, physical addressing and transport timing and reliability. So the first 3 layers are called a network support layer. They deal with the physical aspect of moving the data from one device to another. The layer 5, 6, 7, that means session layer, presentation layer and application layer can be thought as a user support layers. So where the application layer, when we are sending a message, we are sending a message through a mobile phone, so that is a user interface. Mobile phone is a user interface. So the layer 5, 6, 7 is a presentation and application layer can be thought of as user support layer. They allow interoperability among unrelated software systems, so they provide interoperability between the systems. And the layer 4, transport layer, links the two subgroups and ensure that what the lower layers have transmitted is in the form of that upper layer can use. So layer 4 is the transport layer, links the two subgroups that ensure that what the lower layers are transmitted is in the form that the upper layer can use. So the upper OSI layers are almost always implemented in software. So upper layers such as application layer, session layer, presentation layers are always implemented in software. And the lower layers are the combination of hardware and software, except for the physical layer, which is mostly hardware. So this is the communication happening in the OSI model. So there is a D7, D1, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. These are the data we are sending from sender to receiver, and the H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, H7 is the header of the header that we are adding. When we have already said that when we are sending a message from device A to B, the each layers adds its own data to the received message. So D7 is the received message from the sender. So the seventh layer is application layer. Application layer adds its own data, that is means header H7 adds to the message, and this message is transferred to the session layer, that is D6, and D6 means D6 plus H6. This H6 means session layer data. The session layer adds its own data to the message received from the upper layer. So that's all up, that's is coming down to the bottom side. These data are increased due to the adding of data from each layers. So when it reaches to the transmission, when it reaches the physical layer, it's full of data. There is a in data link layer there is a header and tailor. So in data link layer it adds its own data, header and tailor is added. And when we are going through the transmission media, that's a completely a hardware process. When these data come transmitted through a transmission media, it goes to the first layer, physical layer, and the header is removed in the 010 is removed, and going the upward data link layer, the header and tailor is removed, and going to upward the header is removed, and it's respectively it will remove all the data that are added by each layers in the sender side. So when we are going to the upward, we are going to the receiver side, D7, the data that sent by the sender is reached at the receiver. So that's all happening in here. So header and tailor is added at the sender side and removed by the receiver side by each layers. So that's all about today's class, and we can continue our class in next section. So next day we are going to study about the layers of OSI model. It's a large process. There is so many points we have to cover. So see you in the next class. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel, like, share, comment, and thank you for watching my video.